Take a look around. People with brown and blue eyes. A spectrum of skin tones and hair types. Curly, straight, blonde, and wavy. These differences makes an individual unique. In the animal kingdom, observe lions with golden and white coats, birds in vibrant greens and reds, zebras with their black and white stripes, horses in every shade, and monkeys coming in different sizes. Plants are just as diverse, having unique patterns, different colors, roses in red, yellow, pink, and white, each with its own distinctive pattern. Ever wondered how your unique traits came to be?
So good morning everyone, we are the Group 3 and we are here to present our presentation titled The Law of Independent Assortment. Mendel's law of assortment states that the alleles of two and different genes get sorted into gametes independently of one another. In other words, the allele a gamete received for one gene does not influence the allele received for another gene. So, ibig sabihin lang ito, once the gametes is created, the traits are passed differently and separately. It is also mentioned that Mendel's law of independent assortment is one of the basic principles of genetics, which states that genes for different traits are passed independently of each other from parents to offspring.
The law of independent assortment is all about during the gametes formation, our alleles segregate independently to each other. So, isa-isahin natin. Gametes are formed during meiosis, this is our eggs and sperms. In meiosis, the genome are given just half of the genome of the parent. Each parent has two copies of each autosomal gene, but they can only give one of the two alleles to each egg or sperm they create. Okay, for example, if a person inherits a dominant allele for brown eyes from one parent and a recessive allele for blue eyes from the other, their eye color will be brown.
Homologous pairs are fundamental to the law of independent assortment because they separate during meiosis, allowing genes to be distributed independently into gametes. Ang mga pares na ito ay binubuo ng mga chromosomes na may similar genes mula sa bawat magulang. Here's why they are important. Number 1. Genetic diversity. When chromosomes line up and are separated, they mix up different combinations of genes. Ibig sabihin nito ay pwedeng magkaroon ang isang offspring ng iba't ibang katangian. Number 2. Chromosome pairing during meiosis. As we know by now, homologous chromosomes pair up during meiosis, na tumutulong sa pagpapalitan ng mga bahagi at tamang pag-aayos ng mga bagong cells. Lastly, number 3. Ensuring correct chromosome number. Proper separation of these chromosome pairs ensures that each sperm or egg cell has the right number of chromosomes. When these cells combine during fertilization, the total chromosome number stays consistent. However, the genes that are close to each other on the same chromosome might be inherited together, which is an exception to this process, at kinikilala ito as genetic linkage. When genes are near each other on the same chromosome, they tend to be passed on together because they are less likely to be separated during crossing over in meiosis. As a result, traits controlled by this linked genes often travel together, disrupting the usual pattern of independent assortment.
So for dihybrid genetic cross, we have example number 1 for dogs. Kasi yung dog may dalawang trait na coat color at coat type. So both parents have the genotype big B, big S, small s for coat color and coat type, where big B is dominant for color black and over small b is recessive for color brown. So for S, big S is dominant for short over small s is recessive for long. So remember, for the hybrid cross, we're gonna have a total of 16 cells because we have 4 columns and 4 rows. So dito tayo sa table. na yung nasa taas ay paternal genotype and nasa side natin, sa left side, ay maternal genotype. So, ang unahin natin ay yung paternal genotype. So, balik tayo dun sa parent genotypes. We have big B, big S, small s. So, ang gagawin natin ay i-prepare natin yung big B sa big S. Kaya makikita nyo dun sa second column, sa may dark shade na color, ayun ang big na B at S. So, ang sunod naman natin, yung i-prepare ay big B at small s. Ayun, at makikita natin sa third column ay big B, small s. And next naman, yung small b at big S. Ayun, makikita natin doon sa fourth column, small b and big S. And last, doon sa last column ay yung small b at small s ay pinag-pair. Ganon din dun sa maternal genotype, doon na makikita nyo sa may left side ng table. Ganon din, same lang din talaga sila nangyari. So, ang sunod na step natin ay ipagko-cross match. Ang gagawin natin, ang unahin natin ay yung big B at S. Ipagko-cross match natin din doon sa big B at big S. Kaya makikita nyo lahat ay dominant doon sa naging column nila na nag-match. Hanggang sa ganun ang gagawin hanggang sa makomplete natin yung mismong table. Then after nun ay makikita natin yung mga genotypes nila. So for genotypic ratio, after natin magawa yung or malist yung sa genotype, ay bibilangin natin yung ilang lumabas na ganong pairing. So makikita natin yung big B, big B, big S, and big S ay isa lang. And ang sumunod naman ay dalawang big B, isang big S, and small s. So sumunod naman ay yung may dalawa na big B, small b, and dalawang big S. Ganun lang din sa mga susunod. And for phenotypic ratio ay makikita natin na mayroong 9 na black na color at short yung coat nila, and 3 black na color ulit pero long naman yung coat nila. So meron ulit tayong makikita na 3 brown na color and short yung coat nila, and lastly may isa tayong brown na color pero long yung coat nila. This means you are most likely to get black short-coated puppies and least likely to get brown long-coated ones.
Para sa example number 2, meron tayong 2 traits, yung flower color and yung leaf shape. Sa leaf shape, meron tayong lobe leaves na capital L at smooth leaves naman para sa small l. Sa flower color, meron tayong purple flowers na big Y at white flowers na small y. At yung parent genotypes niya is capital L, capital Y, small y times the same. And kapag natapos na tayong magbilang sa Punnett square kung ano yung kakalabasan ng genotypic ratio niya, dapat meron siyang 1:2:1:4:1:1:2:1:1. So, para naman sa phenotypic ratio niya, dapat meron siyang 9 lobe leaves na purple, 3 lobe leaves na white, 3 smooth leaves na purple, at 1 smooth leaves na white. So, ang phenotypic ratio niya is 9:3:3:1.
So now we go on to example 3, which is for this example we're gonna use a human. We're gonna use the eye color and the hair color. The eye color will be brown and blue. It's denoted by B, and it has big B for brown or the dominant trait, and the recessive trait would be blue, and it is denoted by small b. For the hair color, the dominant trait would be brown, and the recessive trait would be blonde, and the parent genotype would be big B, small b, big H, and small h times the same thing. Now let's go to example 3. Here in our Punnett square, it's fairly the same as the previous Punnett squares or the previous examples. For our genotype, it would be the same. For if you look at it that way, for the genotype, we have the big B's, all big, all or dominant B, and H, and so on. So there would be for the genotypic ratio, there would be 1:2:4:1:1:2:1:1. And for our phenotypic ratio would be there would be 9 brown eyes and 9 and brown hair. For the there will be 3 brown eyes but blonde hair, and there would be 3 blue eyes and brown hair. And for the last all recessive trait would be there will be blue eyes and blonde hair. So what can we see from all of these examples from 1, 2, and 3? As you can see, the inheritance of eye color, brown or blue, is not influenced by the inheritance of hair color. The different combination of the traits that we saw in the offspring are a result of the independent assortment of genes during meiosis.